Hello and welcome to my first lane matchups video guide. As most of you know, Kassadin is a common counter pick against regular AP casters like Ahri because of his high base damage and mobility. This is mostly because at level 6, Kassadin can just rift walk into you, silence and slow you while doing an high amount of damage, and then he just walks away like it was nothing. Also, he scales really well into late game and can easily outroam most mid laners. However, he has a weakness. Since he is melee, he isn't really that great before level 6, and this is when you should be trying really hard to deny him, as it will slow down his snowball and roam capabilities considerably. Now let's talk about the important part. A lot of you have been asking me how to play this matchup since Kassadin can easily wreck Ahri after 6, so I'll show you what I like to do when I'm forced to play against Kassadin as Ahri. Please note that I'm not saying this is the best way to play the matchup, it's just a personal preference that works most of the times. This strat consists basically in running AD marks and quints, buying Doran's Blade level 1 and abuse Kassadin's early game weakness by spamming auto attacks on him early game, forcing him out of the lane and setting him behind in XP. The setup I use is very simple. Like I said, I run AD marks and quints with armor seals and magic resist glyphs to help me endure Kassadin's high base damage from his Q and regular AP masteries. Why? Because going for armor penetration masteries is too big of an investment early game. Also, not having the extra magic penetration from masteries will really hurt your mid-late game too much, unless you snowball early, and the attack damage you take from runes is usually enough anyway. This strat usually works, but it has some disadvantages. First of all, auto-attacking an enemy champion without him attacking you will make your minion wave push into your enemy tower, because enemy minions will be focusing you instead of your own minions. Now, this can be either a good or a bad thing, depending on the enemy jungler. If your lane pushes to the enemy tower and the enemy jungler doesn't gank you, then great. You can keep applying pressure even under tower, which will make Kassadin miss even more CS and XP. On the other hand, if the enemy jungler ganks and manages to kill you, then you'll not be only giving away kills, but also free farm to Kassadin, allowing him to come back into the game. Secondly, this is an early game strat, and Kassadin's base damage on spells is bigger than yours. This means that you usually don't want to trade damage with spells, as you'll probably lose a trade and use more mana. This doesn't mean that you can't use spells, of course. You just have to make sure that they won't be able to trade you back when you want to use your spells. Basically, when you see Kassadin using his Q to farm, that will be the time when you want to use your spells alongside with some autos. Don't worry, Kassadin farming with these spells will happen a lot if you play the matchup this way. Finally, you should be aware that dying early game to a gank will make you pretty much useless until you get some AP, since his AD setup gets weaker and weaker as the time goes by. The setup is really strong on the first levels, but it really falls off later. That's why you want to play aggressive, but careful. As a final note, since you are playing Ahri, you might want as well to roam as much as possible, since Kassadin will be so behind. By doing so, you'll be not only helping your team, but getting yourself fed as well. That's it for the first episode. If you guys enjoyed, please feel free to rate, comment and subscribe. Also, if you want me to keep doing this series, please let me know by leaving some feedback in the comment section. Good luck in your games, and see you next time.